Howdy, y'all. Welcome to part one of things I wish I knew before my Alaska cruise, as promised. All right, well, number one for me was binoculars. Do not forget a good pair of binoculars. They offer them for sale on the ship, but they're not worth it. If you know anything about binoculars, the ones they offer on the ship are Bushnell if you're going on Royal Caribbean, and they're $140, $150 on the ship. You can buy them for $40 or $50 at Academy. Not that Bushnell's a bad brand. I love Bushnell, just they're offering them more expensive on the ship than you can buy them off the ship. I have a good pair of Nikon, and I left them in my truck. So my number one regret was I did not take my binoculars with me. I reminded myself constantly while I was packing to not forget them, and I still forgot them. So my number one regret was not taking my binoculars. If you have a good pair, take them. If you don't have a good pair, I highly recommend you go get them before you get on the ship. Wildlife is abundant: bears, whales, orcas, all these things, and typically they're at a distance from the ship. The whales and the orcas, they don't get right up against the ship. So you're gonna wish you had a good pair of binoculars to see these. Number two for me, I knew this and I packed for it, but I saw a lot of people that didn't, and that's packing layers of clothing. Don't pack bulky stuff because Alaska's weather is unpredictable as Texas weather. It can change on a dime, so pack layers of clothing. Make sure you have a waterproof jacket. That's important because it can rain on a minute's notice in Alaska. We were fortunate. We had great weather both times, both stops, Juneau and Skagway. So we were fortunate. We had the rain gear with us at all times, but we never needed it. But pack in layers. I'm hot-natured. My wife is cold-natured, and she took heavier clothing than she needed. The day we were in Juneau, it actually got up to like 73 degrees, and she wore a little bit heavier clothing than she should have. I'm not going to say she was miserable, but she wished she had dressed a little lighter than she did. So pack in layers. Make sure you have a waterproof jacket. Something else that I saw while we were at the Dawes Glacier was I saw a lot of people on the ship that didn't have touch screen gloves. So gloves that'll work with your phone while you're touching. I saw a lot of people have to take their gloves off, take a picture, put their gloves back on, take their gloves off, take a picture. They were miserable, and that is tedious. So make sure the gloves you have will work with your touch screen on your phone. Critical. Trust me, you'll really, really appreciate that one. Number three, make sure you have a good weather app. This one I did not have, and I wish I did. I'm somewhat of a weather nerd, and I just did not think to download a good weather app that would keep me local Alaska weather updates. And I kicked myself for that one. Seeing that the weather can change on a dime and it's constantly evolving, and it can be hot, it can be cold, it can rain, you just never know. You're gonna want a good weather update, a weather app that will give you updates to the ports that you're gonna be in, so you know how to dress and you know what to expect. I'm the pack mule for the family, so I had the backpack on. I carried all the extra layers. I carried all the water bottles. I carried all the extra raincoats, everything, and it got heavy at times. So just, if I'd have known what the weather was going to be like, I could have lightened the load a little bit. So make sure you have a good access to a good weather app that will check the local weathers. All right, number four, this is a good one. Magnets and some kind of clips. You're going to want these to keep your curtains closed in your cabin if you have access to an outside window or a balcony, because it's a lot of daylight up there. For us, we were up there at the summer solstice, so sunrise was at 3:15 a.m. in the morning, and sunset was at 10:08 p.m. So a lot of daylight. The clips keep the curtains closed together in the middle, and the magnets go on the end to help the curtains stay closed against the wall. It keeps your cabin dark at night or in the morning when the sun rises, when you don't want to wake up. Those things right there will really, really be beneficial to you. This is part one. Stay tuned. I'll have part two out tomorrow, and hope this helps you on your cruise.